Says we're live. I think we're live. Not sure. If anybody hears us, please. We're going to get into some shit tonight. Thank you, Horned One. Love the name, by the way. The Horned One 81.
There you go.
What's the 81 in the Horned One? I.O. Pan, by the way. E.O. Pan. E.O. Pan. All right. Well, folks, we're going to talk about some. Tabby says we need to get goats. That's what she's thinking of when I say pan.
Yeah, we need to get goats.
The Horned One. All right. Hopefully, the level is pretty good. But how shall I say this? Tabitha and I, a little bit earlier, of one side finally winning over another side. And somehow I brought up the Hegelian dialect of Karl Marx, or of Marxism. And don't want to be boring, but if you don't know, and I should at least say this little much, in Marx's philosophy, which I was saying to Tabby, in my view, is somewhat mystic, and she'll argue certainly unrealistic. In his view, there is, yeah, I'm a poet, and I do know it.
There you go.
Thank
One
you.
of the reasons I fell in love with you. Facts.
Can you folks hear Tabitha at all? But anyway, the Hegelian dialect of Karl Marx is this view of the world of everything in, sort of binary, to use the intersectional term, or, yin and yang, whatever, just like opposite halves, left and right. Is the way that, say, some people have looked at politics since the division in French Parliament onward. But whatever the case may be, there's always a fender versus defender. Well, offender versus defender, that eventually becomes fender, to use the Finnegan Wake term, the Joycean term. But anyway, whatever the case may be, human beings have this tendency to view things as in-group versus out-group, to use the term from sociology. We tend to be us versus them, to use that phrase from Pink Floyd and all that, It's always something like that. But anyway, I was telling Tabby, I was talking about how Karl Marx, wake up, Kanye West. Yeah, he's next, hopefully. But then again, he's kind of unstable, so I don't know. I'm not saying Nicki Minaj is stable, by the way, but she at least doesn't have this track record of the media likes to color things as well. But anyway, in Karl Marx's view, it's the us versus them, or the haves versus the have-nots, etc., and so on. But in his view, he was taking the politics of Hegel and applying it to Tony Salamone says.
Tony!
He was taking the Hegelian view of the world, which was more abstract, and he was applying it to politics. And by he, I mean Karl Marx. And so he was arguing that thesis versus antithesis, one day the workers will finally win over the bourgeoisie, and then you'll have the synthesis. And here's where we get weird, because in his view, history will end. And the reason why history will end is basically it's going to be, how's the song go? Candy Gumdrop Mountain. There'll be no more, basically the workers' utopia.
Yeah.
Yes. You folks have seen, communist propaganda posters of happy workers standing in the sun, looking very fit and very happy, very healthy.
I'm all starved and dying slowly inside.
Yeah. By the way, can you be enough? But yeah, not at all starved.
Parasite ridden. No.
Right, and they're carrying golden sheaves of weed, and everything's happy. Utopia, and the reason why it's the end. Rock Candy Mountain. No, Candy Gumdrop Mountain. I'm not sure. Well, it's a famous song about in other words, it's Candyland. It's kid stuff. It's just like, one day, everybody will be in heaven with Jesus and everybody will hold hands and sing songs and all that kind of stuff. It's Marx's version of that is the workers' utopia. Now, in his system, what he talks about is he says that one day the workers will rise up and then you'll have the revolution. And then after the revolution, you have the dictatorship of the proletariat, is how he put it. And yes, in his theory is like, oh, you don't have this big government apparatus for that. It's the dictatorship of the proletariat just means that the workers will rule and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, in his system, after the revolution, there is a form of government, and it is called socialism. And then he says eventually that socialism will wither away because man will become perfected and angelic. And because there will be no more need for police, you see. I believe he puts it something to the effect of, let's say, for example, normally you would want police in, say, a city. A woman could be walking down the street, and all of a sudden somebody grabs her and assaults her, and all of a sudden, police, help, and all that kind of stuff. And he says, well, no, everybody will stop. Everybody, your fellow man will stop that from happening. There won't be any need for police. Those are the terms that he put it in. What are you saying, Tabby?
I was just singing Kumbaya.
Yeah, there you go.
Never gonna happen.
Right. But that's his view. And one last thing before.
That's his pitch.
Yeah, that's his pitch. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to remember, Marx was right. He did write. I'm saying a lot of his motivation to write was to say, look, I'm really doing something, so give me money.
Yeah, he just wanted a free ride. His friends and family were tired of giving him a fucking free ride.
But then he's like, no, but
And
look at
his
this
wife
stuff
was
I
getting
produced.
pissy at him.
Yeah.
So he fucking invented a way for people who are really dumb to give up their money to him so that they could listen to him say that they need to take over everything. Meanwhile, they're giving him their money. That's what cult leaders do, remember?
Yeah.
They say, give
Good
me
point.
all your worldly possessions. What does Marxist say? Relieve yourself of worldly possessions in the name of socialism. Tell me how it's a different message.
Right.
It all comes down to a greedy son of a bitch who wants to be lazy and has figured are often easily party with their money.
Yes.
As my uncle would say, a sucker born every minute.
Yeah.
Or was it second? Can't remember.
Every second, minute? I don't know. Yeah.
I can't remember which, but yeah.
Some random guy says that Marx was an angry, jealous little man, and I agree. That's the impression I get. Anyway, from reading his stuff, but
I would believe it too.
Yeah.
I believe his wife was terribly unsatisfied in that apartment.
Probably. My last name says critical race theory is circular reasoning and just swapped class with race from the Marxist ideology. Yes, good point. And that's why, some people say it's basically a form of cultural Marxism. Your thing is beepy, maybe. But, and by which, some people say, oh, that's an anti-Jew term. That's how they get you to just stop using a term.
Yeah.
All it is, the term cultural Marxism, it is just a term to mean, well, basically post-Marxism. But maybe it's a more specific form. But just to go back to that asymptomatic meme so I can take... Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. See here. Not that. Wait, was it that? No, not that. I'll go through every one of these well enough anyway. Vaccine is good. No, that's not it, is it? Asymptomatic. Shoot, I'm sorry. I have a lot of trouble separating. I can't multitask very well. Asymptomatic, huh? Oh, yeah, that one. There. Okay. Here, let me make it bigger for you. Tell you what. There. That ought to do it. Tony Sullivan, I don't think it matters anymore, but hit the thumbs up. Yeah, that would be really cool. It's a fill-in-the-blank system. Mark, I mean, youth class and group can be played against each other. I was going to say, cultural Marxism is just a term that basically means, rather than just pure textbook Marxism, you, for example, like you mentioned, swapping class with something like race or sex or sexual orientation, stuff like that. And that way you're playing on basically that whole thing of us versus them. You just got to get the people who you want to think of themselves as the us. You got to get them to care about it. So, I mean, if you keep doing class, it doesn't always work. At least it wasn't working in the West in the modern era. And so then they tried other stuff. And I have a book on my shelf here. What is it? Critique Domination by Trent Troyer, in which it uses the term cultural Marxism in a positive way. In other words, it's a cultural Marxist book. It is preaching cultural Marxism, even uses the term. The book is from 1973, something like that. And it says cultural Marxism is our tactic. And they even mention certain places where they were going to. Folks, Berkeley has gone from being famous, for the picture of the free speech movement in Berkeley. It was like synonymous with each other. The free place of the free speech movement in America in the late 60s. And now it is made an example of the exact fucking opposite. And ironically enough, a couple years ago in Martin Luther King Jr. Park, a man, Fred, I don't know if he wants me to say his last name. He's my friend on Facebook. He's actually a cool guy. He brought a replica of that, and he maybe he was even there when he was a student. I'm not sure. He seems to be about the right age, but he made a replica, or at least he brought a replica of the famous free speech sign to there, but he brought it to this rally, this free speech rally. And yes, Antifa called him a fascist, and then they burnt the free speech sign, and they said, fuck free speech. Yep. Yeah. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off. Really kind of the reason, maybe, I wanted to start this live stream is because I thought what you were saying to me earlier was so brilliant about how, well, I wonder, what do you think of this view that Marx had that after the revolution and the socialist government and everybody will live in this sort of workers' utopia where everybody is ecstatic and happy and owns nothing and they don't care and all that kind of stuff. And, there won't be any sort of sexual assault. There won't be any theft. Nobody will own anything anyway. And nobody will hoard anything because everybody's going to be just like in those posters that you see in communist countries and communist propaganda and stuff like that. In what they call, what is it? Socialist realism.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of our nature.
You don't think that's part of our nature?
We're from apes. Apes are covetous creatures that when they are moved into new areas, they learn what the new food source is and they covet it for a while. Meaning they'll steal from each other. This is because they don't know if it's going to be there next time. Okay? Not until they learn do they calm and keep and covet what somebody else has. It's better. Fighting over a termite stick and stupid shit like that, or just the termite mound itself. There's 3 mounds, but that's the better one. I want that one too. Yeah. We're all gonna fight over that one for a while. Cousins in the monkey world? Yeah, monkeys, those things that live in trees. That's our cousin to a cousin. Like our oldest ancestor is the chimp. This is that one's cousin. Okay, so it's technically our cousin.
We're all primates.
Yeah, so technically that is our cousin. That little son of a bitch, have you ever seen those videos of those Asian monkeys that pickpocket people in like bands of 200?
Yeah.
Tell me that's not acquiring goods. Tell me those monkeys aren't covetous of things. They'll steal your purse just because they want to look through it. They might keep the bag for fun. I don't know. I don't know what the monkey's going to. He might shit in it and leave it in the jungle. Who knows? It's a fucking monkey, but they steal, they take, they want, they desire. It's a part of our, doesn't matter what side of our family tree you look at, it's part of our instinct to acquire, keep, and have. usually in some sort of stupid abundance, which is why all of us have some sort of weird hobby thing that we collect, which is usually in stupid abundance. You know, it's just a thing. It's a thing. Some of us like just collecting weird stones. You know, I collect fucking marbles. I have a shitload of marbles that I have collected throughout my life because I just find the little sons of. Yeah, so I pick it up and I keep it and I put it in a bag, and now I have a huge marble bag that can crack a skull. Why? I don't know. It's my monkey brain. I wanted them. Now I have them. That's that. You know?
Yeah.
We all have something weird, and it's just part of our chimp mind. So this whole Marxist theory that you will own nothing and enjoy it is not a fucking reality. The dumbest of you will own nothing and not mind for a while. The rest of you are going to be pretty pissed off real fucking quick.
Yeah.
You know? Because you're not allowed to just get whatever you want. You get what you're given and you'll like it.
By the way,
how good does that sound to you? You'll get what you're given and you'll fucking like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't get an option here. Just as is. Fuck you. Written on the package.
Also, however, sometimes it turns out that powerful people in these socialist governments, sometimes they crave certain things, like let's say bacon or good wine, maybe.
Yep.
Right.
Certain people are allowed to be wealthy or middle class, at least.
Or certain people are allowed to be enterprising.
Yep. Because the upper ones want stuff that they make, and they can't fucking do it themselves because they tried and fucked up.
Yeah, or they just know right off the bat they can't do it. But yeah, a lot of times they try and fuck up.
Yeah, and so they revert to just letting one farmer do it. You know, and then you just don't pay any attention to that. Because at this point, communism is taken over and you don't have any option. Whatever the fuck they want, and you have no say. So if the pig farmer down the road isn't hurting much because, you know, the leader, the supreme leader, is buying the bacon, what are you going to do about it? You can't touch that farmer. The fucking supreme leader will kill your whole family. You touch that farmer.
Yeah.
You can't say anything about that farmer. Supreme leader will cut your tongue out and steal your fucking kids because you say something about that farmer. You're pretending that that farmer doesn't actually exist. You know? He's not making any money. He's poorer than you. You're pretending. Because you can't do anything about it. That's communism.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And what was I going to say? I was going to mention something a little bit earlier, but oh yeah. By the way, just taking a quick break from communism. It's funny to watch. Where was it? Yeah. I can't find it now, but earlier we were showing our lovely pet sniffing out some antifas on the street. But anyway, yeah, baby.
I'm such a lady.
You see this, folks? This is Berkeley, California, University of Berkeley, California. There's the famous gate right there. 1964, and you can see the sign, and that was the free speech movement. Then you have the replica of that sign, purposely made by a man named Fred, who showed up in the park in I think it was March, not far from the University of Berkeley, but rally held in the the symbolically chosen named place, Martin Luther King Jr. Park. That happened, Martin Luther King Jr. something Park, Civic Center Park. And then Antifa came and burnt the replica of the free speech sign. I think they literally say "fuck free speech."
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Oh, yeah, that's right.
That thing.
I made a goddamn song out of it.
I want to say it's a girl, but that is literally androgyny in reality. Like,
that is so horrible.
What fucking creature are you, Pat? What the fuck are you?
Yeah, and how do you?
It's a little Pat in action. Like, oh my god, you even look kind of weird.
It's Pat. Yeah, like you guys know the reference.
Pat. Like it's got to be a girl, but at the same time, you're like, you might actually have a dick. Like I'm
Yeah.
not really sure.
And how is it that you like light and bright colors, but still kind of look drab and like lifeless?
Because you have like jaundice.
Yeah,
This girl has,
it's
like, some
something
sort of
like that. Yeah, I don't know.
jaundice going on.
But anyway, let's just.
Real bad concealer. The Antifa punches a fucking woman.
That was Crow Man. He said that. Yeah, they do. They have more hate than brains. She's definitely out past her curfew. Crazies have an earlier curfew than the rest of us. Seriously, they're gonna be looking for her. She should get back. That was when I was still just an anti-theist. No, but I am now just trouble. Obviously, you say, hey, you can see how old that is. So anyway, oh God, I just farted on a live stream. I am so mature. Where is it? I lost track. Okay. Yeah, I know. Right. The infidel says, I'm still waiting for the revolution to kick off. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're referring to the communist revolution or the revolution against tyranny that seems to be going on right now. So,
oh, she's a Bruin, bitch.
Who?
It's a Bruin.
Oh, she is. Yeah, I mean, that's in you're personifying it as in a revolution against all this tyranny. So, that is basically what I wanted to get to, folks, and get into that. And because what Tabitha was saying, somehow what Tabitha, what Tabitha was saying about, basically just pointing out primate and therefore human and very much human nature. Well, it can't be happy owning nothing. That's just silly. And it's not just that we can't just be all get along in kumbaya without any sort of police or that purpose that prevent certain bad members of any tribe whatsoever from, every group of humans going to have a minority of people who are going to be sort of predatory upon everybody else. They're going to do bad things. And so there's always going to be some need to stop them from doing it, and also the whole owning thing. So humans are always going to want to own some stuff. About Tabby before we started live streaming is the whole drama. Not happy. Now, I believe about a week or so ago, we were talking about rats where they get everything they wanted.
Yeah.
And there's no, you want to.
It's out really bad.
Yeah. Can you explain that to me?
Well, basically, if you take it in, I forget how many rats for the study. Like, say you take 100 mice, right? And you 50 males, 50 females. everything they can eat. Like, they never look for food because there's always food. They never look for water because there's always water. Bedding is plentiful. Their cage is always clean. Fresh air. Just anything a mouse could fucking want, you give them, right?
Okay.
Well, what happens is after a certain amount of generations, you start to see distortions in the mouse social groups. Okay, so instead of just males coupling up with females and making babies, and the females being totally cool with that, you eventually get a society of mice where you get what are called beautiful males. You know, I think that's the term they use, where these males, they preen all day and they care more about just relaxing and being happy. Males.
Right.
Males that are very interested in spending 2 hours in front of a mirror primping.
Right.
Which is something a female should be doing.
Right.
And at the same time that you get these beautiful males in society because of all of this pleasure you've been giving them, you also get what is called aggressive females. Because when males become more estrogen ridden, more feminine in nature, the females take up that slack. It's just a social thing. Like, there must always be a balance. So the females become what are called aggressive females, which they want to fight more, and they're not really interested in the males. Sort of like a feminazi is. Like you see today in society, a feminazi where it's always only want girls. That's a feminazi. That's also what a beautiful, an aggressive female mouse might be thinking in her head.
Right.
Because they really don't want males. They'll only breed with males when they become a little older, closer to the end of their cycle, in which case
Mother Nature's
calling.
They
have no choice because hormones are hitting their brain hard. Much like a feminazi who will then hit a sperm bank and begrudgingly, because they feel some sort of weird pull and help themselves. So the mice will continue to breed, but they breed at a lot slower rate. Okay.
Tony Salamone says guy mice with man buns. Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what you
and skinny
picture.
jeans, but I'm a baby.
That's kind of what you can picture. Just kind of useless males. They, they should be able to do stuff, but they're just they seem useless. Like fuck. It's pointless. And so, long story short, what eventually happens is that the males and females stop breeding altogether. Like, they just will not have babies anymore. And so the last mouse will be born. All of the rest of the colony will die off. Now, this experiment is important because mouse society reflects human society in a way, because they form social groups. They do a lot of things socially the same way. Small with a brain the size of a fucking pea. But grouping doesn't really take fucking Einstein. It takes basic autopilot ability. So what they're studying is what could possibly happen with human society if you were to give humans everything they ever wanted.
Right. So no drama.
No drama. Everything. Just peace, love, harmony, food, water, clothing, bedding, whatever you need.
And I guess you're also removing that drive to stow away certain things for the hard times.
Yeah, you are, because they don't need to. So it's also like, say, in ape nature, if there's just plentiful, they stop doing that, like, oh, it's mine mentality after a while. Like a couple generations in, they just realize it's pointless.
Yeah.
And so they'll stop fighting as much over the object. That doesn't mean that they won't fight over a different object.
Because they still have the drive.
But if you do this on all accords, like, okay, well, you want that stick, you don't have a stick. Well, everybody has that same stick now. You're taking away the drive. And so eventually, you just get a society of apes that are like, fuck it. What's the point of even waking up today?
By the way, Lancer 737, do you mean Ashton Whitney, the blonde white female from Berkeley who was dating I can't remember his name, but anyway. I think she had a YouTube channel and she called herself Ashton Birdie. Hey, Alice. There she is. Hi. Cool.
So long
but go ahead.
story short, they, the whole study, they were just like, well, this can be seen as a reflection of what could happen to human society if these parameters were put in place.
Right.
Which would literally be destroying society as we know it. Not only that, they would destroy it for all time. Like, people would not want to breed. Okay, that's a problem. You want to end humanity or something? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
We're crazy monkeys. Let us be crazy monkeys. It works, apparently. Jesus. Oh, but it's wrong to have. It's wrong for you to tell me I can't have. It's my nature to want. Fuck you.
And also, we're not happy when we get everything that we need all the time without any effort,
Yes, it's boring.
without drama.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why
like you
get
say-
males that primp more often. There's nothing else to fucking do. What are they gonna do? They don't need to be aggressive. There's no reason to fucking fight. Coochie is on the plentiful.
Yeah.
The females the same way. You know how females are when we're bored? We become aggressive to one another.
Yeah.
And we fight amongst each other. You know, apparently the men just kind of coif their hair or something. I don't know. You know, but no, there's more to the study, and I suggest you guys read it. I just can't remember what it was called. If you can figure out what it was called, baby, that would be very nice.
Which that? Yeah, I don't know, but I know I don't know the name of
I
that.
suck with fucking names. Let me see if I can figure it out.
Well, you another study. Well, okay, folks. And I remember some of this from high school as well, but they also told us in high school as well, the Milgram experiment and the Ash experiment, and it's been replicated many times by many different groups. But the whole point is that on the one hand, the Milgram experiment proves that some people, if told by a perceived authority, doesn't even have to be a legitimate authority. It doesn't have to be somebody who has power over them, but just somebody who adopts the authority thing.
It's called the Mouse Utopia experiment.
The Mouse Utopia. I'm sorry, the Mouse Utopia experiment by whom?
John B. Calhoun.
Is in the Irish name?
Yeah.
Okay, so from Calhoun, just Calhoun.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's like Mouse Utopia experiment. This is one article. Yeah. So just
Well, it's easy to remember. Mouse Utopia.
Experiment. You can't
Yeah.
miss it.
Cool. But anyway, so in the Milgram experiment, basically, some experiment subjects, some people, not all people, will, if told by somebody who takes on an authoritative sort of tone, if told to administer, they will do so. And now these shocks are fake, but they think that they're giving somebody on the other side of a wall or something like that a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Then minister, to turn the dial up, they do so. In fact, well, basically, okay, why am I going to I'm just going to show you folks, but basically this one is that you can get a certain percentage of the population to do horrible goddamn things.
Just by wearing a white coat.
Yeah, under certain conditions, you can get people to commit atrocities against fellow humans to the point where they think that they're killing people or really killing people, and they do it anyway because they're told to, and they don't want to stand up and say, no, I don't want to. So there's people out there, a certain percentage, who reliably can be counted upon to go along with fellow human beings because they're told to. And then the other experiment, the Ash experiment, that's the one where if enough people say that 2 + 2 is 5, faking it, right? A certain percentage of other people will start to agree that 2 + 2 is 5. It's not true, but they kind of go along with it anyway.
Yeah. It's because, both of those scenarios have the same exact kind of mentality.
Yeah.
In the group.
So I'm going to play some video experiments, but before we go to do that, Lancer 737, I'm to cave into authoritarians. Adelaine Marie Robinson says, "What?" and sees you. Lance 737 goes over and sits next to you. Good to see you. Okay, that's personal stuff. Alice Stark says, "Oh yeah, the whole TI and a lot of the preps are criminals and drug addicts." Yeah, that's another thing. I guess that would probably work more, but I don't think in the Milgram experiment or the other experiment, I don't think be allowed, at least in Western civilization, for them to do that. That's interesting angle. If somebody could study that and work that in there. Tony Salome says, "To me, nothing felt better than coming home after a hard day's work and knowing I did an outstanding day's work." But I was a crane operator watching the hard. Yeah, I can understand that, man. I am driven to work in some way, shape, or form at all times. Yeah.
Part of a dude's DNA to want to do that because, you know, that's just a thing. It's cavemen did. The males did the fucking aggressive shit where they had to concentrate for hours and then come back.
Yeah.
Alive.
Yeah.
Like, that was the point. You had to come back alive,
Yeah.
dumbass.
Yeah.
You know, so that took doing.
Yeah. If I really have nothing to do, I can't think of anything to do or something like that, I'll just like go goddamn walk outside and start breaking branches off of trees to do something.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. But Adeline Marie with this says Commie Core math 2 equals 2 equals whatever you identify as right. The right answer
True.
5 or 8. Yeah. JD
I'll second that.
JDA 79 says I'm probably in the best place to be armed in America, and my kids are gonna go to good schools that aren't affected with critical race theory. And I want to go back to the whole school thing. Adeline Marie Robinson says waves hello to you, Justin Trouble, and always good to see you and have you not succumb to the tyranny. Excuse me, and the always have a good. Thank you. Alice Stark says it just relates to the psychology. His psychology with them. And by the way, class that I last saw videos of this stuff, but this stuff is important. I do want to go into those, but I think maybe before we get into that, perhaps we should have a look at a couple of things. Have you seen this, Tabitha? Charles Haig tweeted out, "Well done, Victoria Police." That's is it Canada or okay, no, this is Australia. Victoria.
70-something-year-old.
Yeah, pushing over. Yeah. All right, folks.
Anna got maced today. That's fucked up, man.
Well, it was yesterday, but yeah,
Either way,
the worldwide thing that was going on that we covered.
Yeah,
well, not yesterday, the 18th, really.
Got fucking maced and thrown on the ground.
Whoop. Sorry.
You know, that's a bit of a problem. Them throwing 70-something-year-old on the ground. They could have broken her hip. You know that if you're like 70-something and you break your hip, there's a good goddamn chance you'll just die.
Yeah. That's kind of, you're hitting close to home right now.
You know, you just might fucking die.
Yeah.
So, like, a broken hip for the elderly is a big goddamn problem.
Right.
Like, they're just gonna throw her on the ground all willy-nilly, like, yeah, fuck this old bitch. Not okay. They could have broken her fucking hip.
Yeah.
You know?
We know from personal experience that sometimes old folks may break a hip and then end up actually dying.
Yeah, it's not cool. So, and then the pepper spray? Oh, nice touch, asshole. You had to fucking mace Nana? Yeah, she would look real fucking intimidating.
Yeah.
Definitely somebody in need of macing. What the fuck is your problem?
A lot.
Oh, that's right. You suck CP dick. That's what it is. You're a bunch of commie fucking retards. It's okay. They're going to cause an uprising and those cops are going to get their comeuppance one way or another.
Yeah.
And I won't feel bad for them. You all had that one coming.
Yeah, you can't stoop that low, man. You can't.
When you do, I will not support you. In fact, I will support those that go after you. Fuck you.
Right. I mean, I
have principles.
If you're going to stoop,
not okay.
If you're going to stoop that low, right? Don't expect people, because at a certain point you it's like cancer, okay? At a certain point you don't want to chop off your cancerous finger, right? But you know you're going to lose your hand and then so on. So you do it. You have to. You do it because it won't stop.
Yeah.
And it's like in that South Park episode where the teacher said, "Do you understand that cancer just does not stop and you can't expect." Anyway, not that it's a great source, but RT put out today, U.S. Well, okay, that's the second thing. First, I wanted to say they put out this yesterday, I believe, but this was about the 18th. Elderly Australian women knocked down and pepper sprayed by police during Melbourne protest against lockdowns, and that's what we just saw. Yeah, and then this snarky tweet: how Australia plans on beating COVID.
By killing as many people as you can.
All right, back. Oh, same woman, different angle, I think.
You can't pick her up up. She could be fucking seriously injured. Quit trying to get her up, you assholes, because you feel guilty. Jerks. Yeah, her fucking hip hurts.
Yeah, she's in trouble.
Her hip hurts, and so does her head.
Poor woman's starting to cry now.
Yeah. She could have a fucking a crack in her hip bone. That shit fucking hurts, man. You don't want to break a hip. You don't want to crack a hip. You don't want to fucking do anything bad to your hip. It fucking resonates. You know, it just, you feel it everywhere.
I think that that's rough, man.
Mm-hmm. They threw her hard, and they threw her on that hip, and she's old enough that they could have fucking done serious damage. And then trying to make her get up is only going to cause more damage. You're making her move around on it.
Yeah.
You know, she needs medical. You tell her not to move. You try to keep her comfortable and calm. And you get the fucking EMTs out there to fucking help get her onto a gurney.
Yeah.
Let's face it, EMTs are usually very worthless most of the time. They're good at getting you on a gurney and telling you that, yeah, you in fact have an emergency. That's about all they do. I mean, I'm sure they can kind of save your life, but most of the ones I've met, they just kind of, that's what they do. Just get you on a gurney, and that's all that.
Yeah. Well, I hope the woman ends up being okay. Yeah.
I hope she just had a sore hip. I hope she didn't break or crack or chip off a piece of bone in there. Not good. Don't throw old people on the ground. They're kind of fucking delicate.
Adam Crichton retweets the image and adds public health down under.
Yeah. Fuck Nana.
Yeah. Julie Song tweeted, if the police has to tackle and assault an elderly woman with pepper spray, that is no longer a legitimate police force.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, at a certain point, folks, you have to realize that the difference between a legitimate government and an illegitimate government is just the consent of the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And how long it takes for the people to
the endurance
consent forever.
Yes, thank you. The endurance of the people sometimes, you know, what is it? There's some saying limit of tyranny is the endurance of the people.
That's why I'm just waiting for that fucking day when everybody snaps and then I join in on the fray. Like, I'm doing it by myself. I'm just gonna wait until it's the right amount of boiling point, and then everybody's gonna snap. And then why the fuck should I behave? Good one. Like, fuck that. Let's party, motherfuckers.
RT also puts out U.S. Republicans call. This is today. U.S. Republicans call for sanctions against Australia over police treatment of protesters. Now, I wonder if this has something to do with this whole thing going on with the dealing with involving France and England and all this
all that
stuff.
World police thing that they're trying to make so that they can fucking usurp our military's authority here at home.
Well, that's how you phrase it. How they phrase it, something to do with this thing to us. Something like, oh, it's a blockade against China, like that, I guess.
It's for your good. No. It's so that you can remove my fucking authority forever.
That's what it's really about.
Shit, die in a hole.
And that's what it's really about.
But, you know, sometimes, you know, we have conversations, and sometimes it's great to have a perspective of a friend of ours. They, you know, served in the military in Afghanistan. And, you know, it's like a lot of the time they're going to play on, you know, that's going to turn you to their side. Right now is like, yes, let's all be against China, everybody against China, blah, 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 blah. The other part of my brain's going, well, no, they're probably trying to sell a deal. Like, they want us to agree with some sort of economic oil deal, some energy deal, some nuclear energy deal, some oil deal, some kind of freaking deal they want us to agree with without even realizing that's where we're agreeing with, because they're going to play on one side sort of, yes, fuck China, everything's China's fault. And I'm not saying the things I think they are, but they want to animosity against China. So, like, me and the friend that we have, you know, we both got that, like, just like if only the Chinese Communist government was somehow taken out, or economically for all these countries, and we should stop products from China. And I agree with all that, but they also know that they can play on that side of us. Anyway, so this is RT, by the way, Russian Times. So grain of salt, everybody. American to impose sanctions against Australia this week to several cases of Australian police officers violently attacking unauthorized protesters, quote unquote. Is there such a thing as protesters? Isn't that a contradiction in terms? What the goddamn hell? On Sunday, Ben Cooper, conservative Florida-based publication El American, declared in an article that Australian Prime Minister must be made to pay for such flags and other Australians through the use of strict COVID-19 lockdown restrictions.
What do you think is better?
What?
Brownies with chocolate chip cookie dough in it, so you get cookies.
Brownies with chocolate chip cookie dough.
Or chocolate chip cookies and brownies separate from one another.
Well, can you do a marble thing?
Yeah, that's what you do. You basically make the pan of brownie mix, and then you dollop the fucking cookie batter in there.
Earlier, by the way.
Yeah.
You should do that.
And it just basically makes marble goodness.
Yeah.
So I was like,
okay.
What do you think is better?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you, baby.
I'll go with that one then.
But anyway, I guess is how you say that. Tweeted out what has taken place in unprecedented. This once thriving liberal democracy now more closely resembles a tyrannical regime, whether it be through sanctions, boycott, diplomatic warnings. The world must act. This tweet is from the author of this. Okay, I wasn't even paying attention when I was so there's that. But yeah, man, talk to me, folks, about what's going on in the world, and I want to know your opinions. I'm going to read some of the chat stuff. Michael keeps all cray nowadays. Yeah, my last name says 60 to 80% of Australian were from China pre-COVID. Wow. Alice Dark says the U.S. is supposed to LOL. Yeah, because they are doing so much here. Yeah, it's the whole thing smells like, but that did happen right there, and that's kind of what I was really focusing on. I'm just trying to sell us a lot of bullshit. Okay, so it's COVID-19, but the vaccines were made a year before discovering it.
Yeah.
I keep smelling shit, but my souls are clean. And this, I think, is an Instagram, maybe, I don't know, some kind of post from that person saying stuff. But they're pointing to the date, 2018, 07/15. AstraZeneca. Oh, the AstraZeneca vaccine. Yeah. Right.
Fishy.
Yeah. Word you're looking for is healthy. Yep. Robert Anton Wilson. He was one of my favorite authors years ago. I don't know. Sometimes I go back and read authors that I used to like, and I like this. But anyway, this is a quote. I think it is from him. The obedient always think of themselves as virtuous rather than. Sounds like him. One night or so and say the government would never do that. I start looking into, for example, Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra, the Tuskegee experiment, the MK Naomi, and Operation. I'm not familiar with that myself. Are you familiar with that, Tabby? All right.
Gotta look into that sometime. My name, my last name. I took the vax with no problem, but I fight for the right to not take the vax and QR codes and vax passports. Well, I take it. Go ahead and do it.
It's your business.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do that, then fine. It's just no one should be coercing anybody else into it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's their business. You back the fuck off.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Now, what have we here? This is Metal Alerts, National Vaccine Information Center. Oh boy, this is going to get us kicked from A2021 release of VAERS data. 13,627 cases where vaccine targets COVID-19 and patient died. Okay, now I don't know how real this is. I did not fact check this, so I just want to say that. This could be something that's duping me. I don't know. But here we have the age group, and we have the count, and we have the percentage. So apparently 3 deaths, 3 and under attributed. And 14 deaths between the ages of 12 and 17, 419 deaths between the ages of 17 and 44, 1,003 for that next age group, and 1,800 for 65 to 75. Then we get 4,714 for 75 and up. But then you got 5,000 unknown. I find that to be strange. How do they not the age of the patient? Huh. That's weird. That is really weird. But anyway, we have to remember that these numbers can't necessarily be trusted anyway, because things like the CDC basically nudge, nudge, wink, wink. The more you lie, the more money you get from us.
AOC is literally telling people to go change their go ask the certificate and put COVID on there. That way they can pay you $9,000 to change what is on your loved one's death certificate to say that they had COVID. That's called inflating numbers. You're inflating the numbers of death. That's fucked up, AOC. And you're offering people $9,000 in government granting. Everyone who has had a loved one, in her words, all of you that have had a loved one that died of COVID, we're gonna give you $9,000. Her own fucking words. That's called pain. And then she's telling people, yeah, you can go to the hospitals and you can, ask them if they can put that on the death certificate for you, and then print you out a copy, and then you send it to us, and we'll send you $9,000.
Wow.
Are you fucking kidding me? You corrupt cunt. You fucking communist mule. What the hell is your problem? You that stupid. You're just going to come right. So we're going to pay you $9,000 and fucking give us those numbers. That's sick. That's sick Nazi communist crap right.
Now, I think you were telling me something, I'm going to get this a little bit wrong, but recently you were telling me about some place, maybe a state, county, something like that, where they were basically saying, well, look, if you have a relative that has COVID and dies, you will or you should or something like that get a whole lot of money.
Yeah, that's the thing I just told you about.
Okay, so same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know what to do kind of thing. Turn the music off. By the way, this has all been my own music. Somebody says, my last name says AOC has a progressive bridge for sale. Yeah, and by the way, you guys know that AOC was sort of she answered, how do you call that, a cattle call?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that for the Justice Democrats group? There was a group called Justice Democrats, and they decided they want to get how old it is, this group, the Justice Democrats. And we're going to get it so that but that's how they sold it. But anyway, the Justice Democrats, they basically put out a cattle call to get people that, basically were appealing in their mind.
Yeah, the cattle call is when basically somebody who wants to hire an actor.
Yeah.
Or a model. They're not sure what they're looking for, right? Cattle call. Okay, you'll get every kind of person there. All right. Yeah, you can kind of set parameters sometimes, but you'll still get every kind of fucking person there. You know, that's just what. Otherwise, they would just hit up certain talent areas or talent agents and ask them to give them a select group, and that will show up. AOC was cattle called, meaning that she is the trash of acting.
Right.
That's what cattle calling gets you. Everybody. You're not going to get the cream of the crop. You're going to get everything below that. Just, I mean, literally everything down to like, what the fuck is that person?
Right.
You know, is that a Hobbit or Danny DeVito in drag? Like, what are you? You know, you don't know what you're going to get. All right. So she came from that cattle call. And so this horse face fucking bitch is the better of the people on that cattle call, which is hilarious because now you can kind of range what she was working around with, you know, like who else was competing with her. Like if this fucking donkey face made it, or maybe that's why they chose her because she's the most that resembles donkeys. And so,
I don't know.
you know, like they thought, like, well, Democrats are into donkeys, and if we get a candidate that looks like a donkey, then they might back her just on the fact that it's like visual association of object. Like it looks like a donkey. I'm into the Democrat. I like donkeys, so donkey. Yeah, I'm good. You know.
God damn it.
I'm just saying, it's possible.
She answered a cattle call, and it's not that she was like, I want to be a politician, and then she went into politics, and then she got to where she is. No, it was like, I'm going to answer that cattle call and see what happens.
Yep. And she went to the cattle call, and apparently she was the cream of the crop, the cattle call, which is a little hilarious. Because, you know, the prettiest thing on the block, so...
Thanks for being with us, Tony.
She had to fucking compete against. Damn.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for being with us, Tony. He's got to go eat.
Bye, Tony. Enjoy food.
We appreciate it, man. Ayo is Maji Nawaz. Do you guys even know Maji Nawaz? He's a character. Interesting character. But he's over there in the UK, and he tweeted, that's tweeting, ouch, in a rather vivid turning of the tables. There's a retweet of something by the media company Disclosed TV, just in, Sweden bans travelers from Israel.
Yeah, because it's contaminated. They purposely Hitlered themselves. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, one of the most Sweden bans travelers from Israel, one of the most vaccinated countries in the world, into the country of Sweden from September 6th due to the record-breaking rise in COVID-19 cases. Oh, Tony will be back. Well, hopefully we'll be here. Probably. Well, we will. But anyway, enjoy. Give our regards to the whole family, please.
Yeah.
But anyway. Hindley says, dude, I love your channel. I am glad I could find you live. Great. Cool. Thank you. See, here's the thing. I'm kind of torn because, you know, for a long time they've been protesting against YouTube by putting my content on everywhere but YouTube, and then just, you know, putting a note on YouTube for people to know that I've done so. But then the thing is, they don't tell most of my 23,000 subscribers that I have new videos when I do. I mean, I can't tell you how often people say, yeah, I thought you stopped making content a couple of years ago. You folks, but I'm not told about anybody's new videos ever, even though I'm subscribed to a lot of channels on YouTube. But so there's scroll up my comment about AOC TC Tone, and not that one. But yeah, I mean, I'm torn because, like, on the one hand, I really do like live streaming, and I don't want to pay to do live streaming, and so that leaves YouTube for now. But I want to punish YouTube by, you know, saying if you're going to censor me, then I'm not going to give you stuff to censor anyway, you know. But then again, when I put, you know, like my new videos on a platform that is totally independent, totally DIY, totally do it yourself, I get like 11 views or something. So it's like, oh, God damn it, nobody's going to go over there.
That would be nice.
Go ahead.
Some way to contact the people who are in charge of YouTube, like through via, you know, message or something, and like send them a picture of your balls. Like everybody just send them a picture of your nuts all at the same time. You know, there's gonna be some SJW that loses their shit and fucking tries to commit suicide on the same day. It'll be worth it. Come on, everybody send a picture of your balls to YouTube. Same day.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. You'll get in trouble, but that would be hilarious. You know, just think about it for fun.
Jerry wants to tell us, my board thing is to go ask neighbors and my sons if they need anything little to do that they're getting to do. I'll
Yeah.
do it, and I have plenty of time. That's cool.
Whatever, makes you happy and keeps you busy.
My last name, my last name says Filthy Cracker starts on YouTube, then asks the viewers to join him on Odyssey Live. Oh, when he does live. Oh, okay. So wait, do I have to pay to do Odyssey Live? Because if I don't, I'll just start doing live streams over there, I guess, That way, but then again, some of the time I'm over here live streaming on YouTube because I like the idea of going out with a bang. In other words, I like the idea of them saying, okay, that's it. He's saying too much. Got to delete the whole channel.
You just like poking the bear.
I like poking the bear, yes.
That's okay. I like it when you poke the bear. It's fun for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Goodbye Wednesday. I had come across this and I didn't realize it was live until I clicked it. I rewound it. So far, this channel seems patriotic and has some common sense. Well, I hope so. Yeah. I sure do hope so. And I'm patriotic in the sense of I am totally down with the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and all that. The philosophies.
Was founded on good shit. Why should we change it? That's so stupid.
Right. I mean, I realized Jefferson was a hypocrite and he owned slaves and all that, but in their actual words, they didn't say white people this and white people that, or white man this and white man that. They used these terms and they were all kind of side-eyeing each other. Some of them owned slaves and some of them didn't. But anyway, got their word, and let's pretend they weren't hypocrites or whatever. I'm totally down with the Constitution, man. Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, etc.
I fucked up and I have like the Facts of Life song in my head right now for some weird reason.
Okay. Anyway, so let's go back to the not that one. And I see. Okay, so we have a choice. So I don't know. Let's choose a short one, maybe. Curiosity, how evil are you? Okay, well, this is a modern one, and it's short. So let's check this one out. Is that going to be? Yeah, it's commercial. We don't want commercials.
Just mute it. There you go.
I'm going to lower the mic. I'm going to turn off our mic for the duration. That way. Ugh.
They faked you out.
Yeah. Think about yourself for a second. Are you a good person or a bad person? I'm betting
turn on the AC for a minute here, since we're not on
what
mic.
if I could prove that you were? We're putting together a social experiment that will test just that. Sure to speak into the heart of the test is this machine. The shocks are telling you that participants don't know that. With each incorrect answer, the voltage rises by 15, and our actors' pre-recorded responses become more alarming. Our first test subject is already manning the switches. The answer is he's laughing. Right. It's hard to understand exactly why. Part of it is the absurdity of the situation, and part of it is the nervousness that they're feeling. Can't get too quick. The correct answer, so it makes the association. Is it to know right? It's here. Number 9. The next one is gold, dollar, necklace, moon. It's wrong. $120 volts. White cloud. Up to now, the teacher's just been hearing horrible. This time, it's going to be different. In the original Milgram, the voltage ran from 15 to 450 volts began to scream for the experiment to stop.
It's fatal.
Well, they
Right.
refused to continue.
That's when it gets that point.
Yep. Who's the follower and who's the thinker? Thinker has a conscience to stop. Follower knows they're wrong.
Shoot,
and keeps
I may
going.
have to go past a commercial or something here. From thing, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, some people will torch or at least think, they're
Good.
doing it.
I'm doing a good thing. It's like, no, you're not. You know you're not because that's why you look.
I mean, this first guy, he had a nervous laughter. This guy, he sort of expressed a little bit of, but he still went through.
That one there with the stripy shirt on too. He looks a bit perturbed. Maybe he's one of the ones that thought.
Yeah, there's always going to be some people that won't do it. So I don't know. We'll check this one out. Yeah. Let me turn the mic down. Okay, folks.
Bite me, I'm gonna kiss you, and then you'll stop because it's no fun.
I arranged for them to take part in what they now think is a there are 9 subjects left. I can only use 4 for the heist. So a week after the seminar, I
Mike's
arranged
off,
to
just
test
so
the
you know.
limits of their responsiveness to authority. So a week ago, I arranged for them to take part in what they now think is a piece of unfilmed academic research at the university and nothing to do with the show, supposedly looking into the effects of punishment on learning. And they believe now that this is part of their growth. In fact, it was a reenactment of a powerful experiment conducted by Stanley Milgram in 1963 to look at how normal people can commit atrocious acts simply because they're following orders. Milgram's parents were Jewish refugees in World War II, and his pioneering work speaks volumes about the nature of responsibility. It's being filmed with covert cameras. Thank you. They're introduced to an actor pretending to be another participant.
You didn't come from the same room. Yeah, you don't know each other. We don't actually know how punishment affects learning.
After a brief introduction, our subjects are tricked into thinking they've chosen their role as teachers in the experiment.
And if you could just tell me what your positions are. Learner and teacher. Learner.
Our subjects observe the learner being instructed by the scientist, who is just another actor.
Hey, Beth.
This electrode is
So there's that in
connected to
there.
a generator in the second room.
Yeah, but nothing to get.
Just make sure that
Um,
good contact with the skin. And so
There's also an experiment. I don't know the name of it, but it's the one where they get people in a room, and some of them
Place these straps around your arms
are actual volunteer subjects. They don't know what's going to happen, and some of them are pretending.
Yeah, the ones where they like put smoke in the room, make it look like it's on fire.
The
Just
learner
put
is
in,
told is going to be asked a
social
series of memory
psychological
questions by the
experiment.
teacher.
Yeah.
He will have to merge pairs.
Well, whatever that's called, that's also that also illustrates the way that people can do groupthink at the detriment of themselves and others.
Leave that one alone. That's coming out of there.
But maybe we should mention some of that whole concept of groupthink. Not everybody knows 1984 or all that.
Yeah.
Discuss that more often on our live stream. People like what we're saying. They really do.
They are then given an example of a low voltage shock.
We should consider, like, if we keep doing this sort of thing, we should consider doing the on camera thing.
I need to finish plastering the wall on the other side.
Okay.
And then I have to go get 2 other colors of paint so that we can do that marble effect on the wall. Like, I need you to show me how to do that.
Marble, huh?
Well, where you kind of like, you get a color that's lighter and a color that's darker, and then a medium color, and then you make it kind of like a splotchy that kind of, it looks like Adobe almost. when you're
Oh,
done.
okay, that thing. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like actual like marble countertop
No,
marble.
no.
I can do that, but
I don't
it's
want that.
hard and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of clear.
Yeah, and I don't want that. I just want a wall that has that Adobe discoloration that they can have. When
Yeah,
they
that's
dry.
different. But I have managed to recreate like marble, shiny marble countertops.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just really hard.
Oh, yeah, it's very difficult.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
And for me, I use Minwax brand, high gloss, clear coat, many layers on top. And then I might even put some paint on top of that. and then more layers of clear coat, because marble has that look like it's almost like some of it's embedded in glass.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's like-
because it's layers of
Yeah.
mineral deposit, and so
Right, and
it's
so if you
ribbons of it, and so you're gonna get gaps.
yeah, and if you don't
Yeah, I've
do,
actually seen people going in with paintbrushes and just kind of like,
yeah,
and then they'll put a thin layer and do a few more, and that way it kind of looks like there's a level of it.
sponges like in sea sponges help, and then if you're really good at it, you can take something like a feather, whatever, and like make veins.
Yeah, takes some doing though.
Straight.
The correct answer is Captain Shoe. Cup. That's wrong. 225 volts.
There's your soul, you douche.
He's in a lot of pain.
Continue, please.
But he's not comfortable.
You must continue to be inspired. The low lights will not yes go on until he's known the words correct.
Forest. That's wrong. 240 volts. Are you sure it's not causing any lasting damage? He sounds like he's in a lot of pain.
Birdshot's motivating and not harmful.
What does that mean, though? They're not harmful. Sorry, I'm not getting you. When you say that they might be painful, but not harmful,
It causes no long-term damage.
because what does that mean? It doesn't leave any scars.
It causes no damage.
That seems very cold and calculated to me. This doesn't seem like very. Anyway, good.
Well, then stop doing it.
Golden.
Yeah, you're controlling this, bud.
That's wrong, mate. 300 volts. Staple. The options diet, jar, balcony, bowl.
Get him, kitty. Get him on board the duck, kitty. Oh, she's gonna get you a snow on this. Yes, that's right. Are you the devil, kitty?
If the learner doesn't answer in a reasonable time, so 4 to 5 seconds, you have to treat the answer as wrong.
So scary.
Follow that procedure.
Did you hear that, Learner? Steady response, mate. Come on. Wild guess.
Please continue.
345 volts. I'm sorry. I can't do this, honestly. Can we stop this? Because I can't do this. Listen,
If we don't continue, we'll have to discontinue this moment.
yeah, okay, fine. That's fine. I'm not going to do this.
Incorrect. 405 volts.